So sixth grade, today your class is going to be punctuation. This is from March 16, 2020. That is Monday. Now I'm going to give you guys a quick look at the paper so you can pause it and you can copy it in your notebook. We go down a little bit so you can see the other part of it. So you can pause it and you can write it in your notebook. I am holding the cell phone with my hands, so I'm sorry it was a little shaky, but we're going to go ahead. We're going to discuss this real quick, okay? Now, pay attention to each punctuation mark and to their function and an example. Oh my goodness, an example for each one, okay? So, we have first is the full stop. The full stop is also known as the period. Every single sentence has to end with a punctuation mark. Okay, and most sentences end with a period. Mary rode her bike to the playground. And we see that's a normal sentence. It ends with a period. The next one is comma. Separates items in a list. Now, what is a list? A list is a series of things, okay? 3 or more. Let's look at the example we have here. I like to read books. I like reading books, listening to music, and studying English. So this person likes to do 3 different things. Okay, the 3 things are reading books, comma, listening to music, comma, and studying English. Now, why is it so important? Why I put so much emphasis on the word, where is it? And is because before the last item of your list, you always have to put the word and. Okay? Now, there's a little math trick that I like to use with commas. Now, this is a list of 3 different things. Reading books, listening to music, studying English. I always count how much there are. 1, 2, 3, and I subtract 1. Okay? So, 3 menos 1 es 2. How much commas do I have? 2. Okay? So, you always have to have 1 less comma of the quantity of everything in the list. Okay? So, reading books, comma, listening to music, comma, and studying English. All right? Now, question mark. This is supposed to be used at the end of a sentence that is asking a question. Okay? Where are you from? So as we can see, this sentence does not end with a period. It ends with a question mark because the sentence is a question. Exclamation mark. Now, this goes at the end of a sentence as well, but it emphasizes a strong feeling. Wow, today has been awesome. Okay, so when somebody's writing and they want to emphasize a strong feeling, they can use an exclamation point instead of a full stop or a period. Semicolon. Now, semicolons can be a little tricky sometimes for people because it looks like they're being used to make really long sentences. Okay, let me show you an example. Link elements of a sentence. Now, what this means is when you have 2 sections of a sentence that go together that are in the same topic. Okay, and I'm going to show you an example of this. My daughter is a teacher. My son is a doctor. So what this is doing pretty much is saying what jobs my daughter and my son have. Okay, since they're both the same topic, what we're talking about is what jobs they have. All right, it goes together in the same sentence, but we don't use a comma to separate it. We use a semicolon. Okay, now why do we use a semicolon? Because this is not a series. It's not a list of things. Okay, it's just 2 statements in 1 sentence. All right. Now, a colon, which looks very similar to a semicolon, it just has 2 points, introduces a list. All right. When I'm going to introduce a list of things, you have 2 choices. Tiene 2 decisiones. Finish your work today or get a 0. Okay. So here we can see is a list of 2 different things. Now, a colon can present a list of a lot of things, and we're going to see an example of that in the practice, okay? Now we have here an ellipsis. All right, now this is not used a lot in writing. I personally do not like to use it that much, but I'm going to teach you guys it anyway. It shows the part of the sentence is left out. So when you're writing a sentence and you want to add some dramatic flair, like, you know, you're not finishing it. This is used a lot in it's used a lot in fiction writing and poetry. This is not a good thing to use when you are writing an essay or when you are writing a formal writing, persuasive, expository. This is not a good thing to use, okay? But to be continued, you can see it can be used a lot for fiction, for stories. It's a really good one to use. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead to the practice. Now, let me just give you a quick overview. If you have to pause the video, let me mix that. It looks a little blurry. Okay, there we go. Pause the video. If you have to copy it, pause the video, put in your notebook. The way that un break para que lo puede copiar. Okay, good. So now let's go to practice. The practice is, and we're going to answer this together, all right? I mean, of course, you guys, I would recommend that you guys try to answer this by yourself first, ¿verdad? Trata de contestarlo tú primero. And then you come back to the video, and then we're going to answer it together, okay? To see if you got it right. So the practice is pretty much is we're going to be fixing these sentences. Samuel plays 4 sports: volleyball, soccer, and tennis. Sorry about that. I had to go get a pen. Okay, so Samuel plays 4 sports: volleyball, soccer, and tennis. So as we can see, I'm going to look at the paper because I'm looking at the cell phone. Samuel plays 4 sports. Now, we are presenting a list. Okay, so here you're going to be putting the colon. Volleyball. Sorry about that. My cell phone is losing storage. That's not good. Okay, so Samuel plays 4 sports: volleyball, comma, soccer, comma, and tennis. Okay, so we can see here an example of a sentence that has a colon because it's presenting a list, and of the commas. Okay, so Bob ate pizza, Jane ate burgers. Here we have 2 short phrases in a sentence that mean the same thing. Are we going to use a comma to separate it? No. We're going to be using a semicolon to separate it. Okay? Now, I didn't have a hat. Dad said it would be easier if I used one. Okay? So I didn't have a hat. Dad said it'd be easier if I used one. Now we know when we read this sentence, something's missing here, right? So I didn't have a hat is one thought, and Dad said it would be easier if I used one is another thought. Now these are 2 different parts of a sentence. Are we going to bring them together using a comma? No, we're going to do the same thing we did last time. We're going to be using a semicolon because we're bringing together these 2 different parts of the sentences Okay. I'm so excited, my brother said. Now, here we know when we are talking about emphasis on emotions, the person's excited, we're going to be using that exclamation mark. But we have a little bonus round here. The person's talking and saying this. So when somebody is talking, you're always going to use quotation marks for dialogue. When somebody is speaking, you're going to put that in quotation marks. I'm so excited, my brother said. Now, you guys should know what quotation marks are because we did discuss that in class, okay? It is sunny outside. All right? So that ends with a... Oh, my mistake. I read it wrong. Is it sunny outside? Is it sunny outside is a question, okay? That's why you gotta read things nice and slowly so you understand them. Is it sunny outside? That ends with a question mark. So a little bonus round. Let's fix this sentence. We had chicken, mashed potatoes, and corn for dinner. Now I know I have to use commas because that is a list of things. We had chicken, comma, mashed potatoes, comma, and corn for dinner. Okay, so it has 3 different things, 2 commas. So that's the class for today. It was really simple. It was very easy. Okay, but since it is in the module, this topic about punctuation, since it is in the module, well, I decided to discuss it with you guys today. Thank you so much for your attention and have a good day.